1-second battery swap with unlimited battery life. I believe everyone is also fired up by new Meow's promotion. I thought it was some kind of alien technology, but what I got was actually a battery replacement. He must have felt a bit disappointed inside. This was actually my first impression after getting the mouse. But after using this mouse for over a week, its level of surprise far exceeded expectations. First, a tip. I was a retest player and spent 1,200 meters to get the mouse. It's not a retest by the manufacturer. So this video doesn't contain any scrutinizing content. Purely a subjective experience. Then you can confidently check out the Lumiao packaging for you. It was also a very high-end white Arsenal box. Inside is the mouse receiver, AB2C conversion port. There are also spare foot pads and anti-slip stickers. It also gives you a mouse storage strap. Although these things are a bit pricey, however, the emotional value it gives you is still very well placed. Now, let's first look at the point everyone cares about, the battery replacement. There are two battery options, one black and one yellow, with a total range of 340. In my tests, driving 8K can last about 2.5 days. When the battery runs out, the mouse's indicator light is also very prominent. It was just a flickering red light. It can directly tell you that the battery is dead. Then you can perform the battery replacement operation with one hand. I think the most well-designed feature is this 8K receiver. It integrates the receiver with a mouse charging case into one. Around the table, a ring of flowing colorful lighting effects was placed on the table. It really doesn't feel out of place at all. I think this design is really well done. As for whether the battery is easy to throw off, there's no need to worry too much. This magnetic suction is incredibly strong, almost unbelievably strong. If you want to shake it off, it's basically impossible. After talking about unlimited battery life, now let's look at the comments section that many people are very concerned about. One is whether hands can't be used, and the large hollowed-out design is not very hard to clean. First, let's talk about the hand. First of all, I have a fairly large man-sized hand, a normal mouse. I was in a high-intensity game basically for over an hour below. The back of the mouse will accumulate a pile of dust. For example, this kind of magnesia green alloy hollowed out. The friendly weld hand shield is very breathable. Unless you're the type who can easily drip by hand welding, that really can't be used. And I think I might have to take a look. Normally, if someone like me uses this kind of hollowed out eyebrow aluminum alloy, it's definitely more comfortable than this kind of mouse-free mouse. You can rest assured about that. Then there's the mouse cleaning. First, the PCB surface of this mouse does not have any protective coating design. What if you really got some cola water poured on it? But that's still quite dangerous. If you often slip your hands, then the victory pulse is about to begin. As for the dirty little one, I have 2 cats at home and the mouse inside. I have never opened it. You can intuitively see how clean the inside of the mouse is. Actually, my impression is quite good. The main feature is the large hollowed-out design. If you put in some yarn or something, just blow it off and it will come off. I used it for about 10 days and basically there were no problems. No need to worry too much about this point. Now let's look at the mold. Mouse length about 125, width at the closure about 64 centimeters, height about 39 centimeters, weighing about 48 grams, size. It's just like our old lighter king again. In fact, the grip feel is quite similar. I later saw new Meow's product manual. That's when I realized this mouse was based on nonsense. Wong Mold undertook a hollowed-out development. I'm an 18.5 grab and fall hand holder. The ring finger is curved and placed in this hollowed-out design. I feel like it was truly tailor-made for me. The hand I held up, the thumb, ring finger, and little finger fit very well. Placed at the load-bearing point, there was none of that painful feeling of cutting your hand. This really surprised me, because I've used more than 10 of these hollowed-out magnesia green alloy mice. What I often say, this kind of side group hollowing causes the hand to feel the hand is holding the hand. At times, I feel that very unpleasant Singer vibe. This easily leads to uneven pressure on the fingertips. This makes slight adjustments like a gun throw uncomfortable. These models basically use a lot of aluminum alloy from me. In fact, in the end, it all returned to the normal mouse. But No Meow's hollowed-out design this time is truly top-notch. Hold it tightly, except for the back. The 3 fingers that tuck in at the waist basically provide a non-hollowed-out mouse experience. The back is because of this oversized hollowed-out area, so the palm shape is very open. A support larger than a machine is just right. Attach them to the edges of both cuts. When you use it, the area above Zyouji is quite uncomfortable, because the Nuomio mouse is made very slowly at the waist. When placing your hands, your center will shift slightly to the right. If you have a mouse with high compression pressure, you need to press it with your thumb. So its center is slightly left in the middle, which varies from person to person. I just got used to it for a while and got better. So I think this mouse has an 18.5 ±1 grip posture. You can try them all. Other hand lengths differ too much. I can't recommend it. As for lying down, that depends on how you do it. I showed this backward prone grip. The feel is also quite good. But this kind of centered face grip is a bit uncomfortable. Leaning back with a lean grip, because the mouse's angle isn't prominent, it's anonymous. The finger is not uncomfortable either. A special design at the end of the button cover. This also provides a very good point of force at the base of the fingers. So the whole thing is like this, lying down and holding it down. Actually, it's not hard to use. Small hands gripping the face. Nuomio even designed a special flat grip board. I didn't get this board, so I can't really judge how it feels. The mouse feet are really very small. With a hollowed-out structure like this, there really wasn't much to be done. The swipe is pretty good, but if you're the type who grips the mouse tightly and moves, that might be a bit much. The scraper pad and button cover on my prototype are pretty average. The left mouse button has a very clear spatial layer, and the right mouse button is very loose. The micro switch uses TCC red dot light micro switches. This optical micro switch is really satisfying. I feel a bit more comfortable using it than Omron optical light. The initial pressure is quite high, but the rebound is especially fast. The sound is also very crisp, and tapping it feels especially comfortable. The side buttons are placed just right. The pressure is also very moderate. The scroll wheel is the kind of scale that has a sense of scale, but the rolling feel is still quite light. Zhongjin, click to do it better. The pressure is light. However, when you scroll, you won't make accidental micro-touch noises. Let's listen briefly. The mouse supports an 8K polling rate. I just got it and did a simple test to see if the return rate met the standard. Stability tests show that the Nuomio mouse performs very well. There was no incident of losing the needle. The return rate can basically reach above 7,500. Nuomio's drive is also highly tech-savvy. Key change function, red management, DPI settings, 3 download height adjustment, standby time adjustment, SAMO button sterilization function drive. It also supports adjusting the receiver and mouse lighting effects. Of course, there are also Mac versions of drivers. The male CEO has done quite well in the field of internet technology. Damn it, I actually joined their group last year for this mouse. At that time, the group was still voting on one color. I chose pink for both colors, but unfortunately only black is available for now. If this mouse comes in pink at the right time, it should look especially cool. Later, I really got the pink one, and I might buy another one to play with. After all, it's the number of mold green alloy hollowed-out pieces I've used so far. I think this mouse is the one that fits my hand best. If you're interested in the magnesia green alloy hollow count, if you have a generous budget and have range anxiety, I think you should try this Nuomio mouse. That's all for this video. What do you think of this mouse? You think the marketing is too aggressive? Or do you find it flashy or just more interesting? Want to buy one and play with it? If you enjoyed this video, remember to follow 3 times and follow. Thank you very much. You can also forward this to your rich brother or rich sister friends. Give it a try. See you next time.